to STEMTASTIC Day of Discovery. I am Marshall Bauer, the President and CEO of the Foundation for Lee County Public Schools. As you all know, this has been a different school year, and that's an understatement. Our teachers, our students, our principals, everyone has come together to make sure that learning did not stop. So whether you were face-to-face in the classroom or learning virtually, all of you were succeeding this year, and we congratulate you for that. Teachers, we commend you for the hard work and the adjustments you had to make to ensure student success in the classroom. And students, you never ceased to amaze me. You rose to the occasion and continued the learning process. The foundation and the school district did not want our community to miss out on the opportunity to experience STEMtastic. So we are bringing STEMtastic Day of Discovery, like everything else, virtually to you this year. STEMtastic Day of Discovery is an award-winning STEM event that provides an exciting atmosphere for children and families to explore science, technology, engineering, and math, and we throw in the arts as well. It introduces students to STEM education and exposes them to STEM opportunities within our community. We could not do this without our partners in the business community and elsewhere. STEM education plays a key role in creating our next generation of innovators and thinkers, while also creating an environment to empower students to explore. At this time, we would normally be gathering at the school district building with family members and friends. Sometimes up to 6,000 people would attend to explore interactive STEM exhibits, games presented by regional and national organizations, schools, and local communities and business partners. Even though we are missing out on the in-person, hands-on learning experience of exploring fire trucks, playing with robots, visiting a mini petting zoo, and seeing soda bottles fly through the air, we're still bringing the STEM experience to you. The following participating schools and business partners have put together fun, educational STEM presentations and experiments you can watch and conduct in the classroom or even at home. Thank you to B&I Contractors, Lee Health, Florida Power and Light, Bonita Springs High School, Bonita Springs Elementary School, Colonial Elementary, Gulf Elementary, Hancock Creek Elementary, Harns Marsh Middle School, the Sanibel School, Ramus C. Page Elementary, Mosquito Education at the school district, and of course our friend Susie Hassett. We would also like to thank our wonderful sponsors. We could not do this, obviously, without our great partnership with the school district of Lee County. Other wonderful partners that have helped us this year and in past years include Florida Power and Light, the Edison Festival of Light, Suncoast Credit Union, Lee Health, B&I Contractors, and the News Press Media Group. Now, sit back and take a journey into the virtual world of STEM as the Foundation for Lee County Public Schools and the School District of Lee County present STEMtastic Day of Discovery.
Thanks, Marshall. Let's kick off STEMtastic this year with the Aerospace students from Bonita Springs High School. This is one of the most unique and engaging programs in the school district right now. They fly drones, they fly in simulators, learning how to become pilots. Their instructor, Todd Callahan, is with us first this morning. Todd, just talk overall about your academy first to give our STEMtastic audience an idea of what you're teaching students.
Okay, great. Yeah, so once again, I'm Todd Callahan, and I'm with the Bonita Springs High School, and we have the Aerospace Academy. So we have Aerospace 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these guys are kind of at the top here with Aerospace 4 doing engineering projects. And so Aerospace 1's kind of introduction. Aerospace 2 is a couple of Embry-Riddle courses, one of them being an AS-120, Principles of Aerospace, and Aerospace 220, which is a drone class, so how to fly drones and work on their licenses and the safety certification. Aerospace 3 is private pilot ground school, which is also Embry-Riddle AS-121. And then these students here are kind of at the top, and they're aerospace engineering. So what we have going on here is Brandon and Zachary are building some drones and soldering the circuit board in here to the motor and some lights. So basically putting these together, and then eventually once they get it all finished up here, then they'll be able to fly them.
All right, well, let's see how this is going, Zach. So tell me what you're doing there right now as you're working and soldering. Explain your process.
Right now, I'm just soldering the motherboards to the wires. So normally what you would be doing is you would be using the solder stick on the wire in order to do this, but because we just took these ones apart, we already got the solder on there. So all you gotta do is poke the solder with the solder gun, and then put the wire in like so, and then bam.
And Brandon, what are you waiting for? What's your next step?
I'm waiting for the solder guns.
We only have one
Yeah.
soldering.
What's the biggest challenge to build the drone like this?
The biggest challenge was the solder because I didn't know how to do this in the beginning, so it's a challenge for me. I don't know about him.
Okay, what do you see the payoff at the end? That you build something and then it's able to fly.
Yeah, that was the one good part about it. I got to build a drone and it flew perfectly fine.
Zach, I see it's flashing there. You're coming along. How long does it take to put one together?
When you're first putting them together, it takes about an hour, but because we already had these ones together and then are now taking them back apart, it only takes a few minutes.
Gotcha. And Todd, in this class, what kind of certifications and licenses can the students finish with at the end of the program?
Okay, so well, with the they get credit hours. So when they've gone completely through the years, they'll have 11 college credit hours total. So we have quite a few students that have already accomplished that. For the drone class, they will get a drone safety certification, and then they can also, and are testing, and we've had a couple students already earn their FAA Part 107 drone license, which is a commercial drone license, so they can legally fly in the national airspace a drone that weighs less than 55 pounds. So, I have quite a few more students in class that we're going to test, get that, so get the FAA license for them and the safety certification for that. And then in Aerospace 3, it's about the FAA Private Pilot Ground School. So they will take their test nearby here. Actually, they're going to take their test just over here at the airport as a testing site, and get their Private Pilot Ground School out of the way, and which is, of course, a big hurdle on becoming a private pilot or a more advanced pilot if that's their goal.
Very impressive. We're going to check back in with Brandon and Zach in just a little bit, because once they build them, they got to fly them.
Right.
So another part of these aerospace classes is programming drones to fly. A swarm is what they call it. So from Bonita Springs High School, Cameron is here. Talk to me, Cameron, about this part of your program and getting these drones to fly in a synchronized fashion.
So I use a program called Sam Studio, and they make it very easy. They use block like coding. So with block coding, it's very simple. It looks like blocks on the screen. So I can code a certain drone once I connect it to a certain list of commands through blockchains. And then once you have enough blockchains, you can make it do certain things like flips. You can make it go up at certain speeds and stuff normally a person couldn't do with just a controller.
So you can fly them in the synchronous fashion, or make them, move in the same, up and down, back and forth, flip upside down, and make a nice little demonstration.
Yes.
I know there are competitions. Are there competitions for this kind of thing?
Yes, there are competitions for drone building and flying. We almost did one last year, but it has been canceled because of coronavirus.
Right. Everything thrown for a loop by that. But let's see what you got. You've got your drones there on the ground in front of us. So start off this program and then explain to me what's happening.
Okay. So I'm gonna press run on the command, and then I'm gonna start it with 3 buttons I assigned it to. So right now the drones are just going up because I set them to fly, and then they're going to hover for 6 seconds each, and then they will flip, and now they should land.
All right, now that was pretty cool. Can we do it again? I want to see it again, because I missed the flip the first time, so I want to catch the flip. What do we have to do? Do you need to reset them up? All right, so real quick, go over there, grab them, get them back in line. That flip happened so fast, you got to be looking for it. All right, so he's got him back in line. Then Cameron, come on over and I guess press play again and walk us through again what we're doing.
Okay. And then they're going to go up to a certain height, then they will stand still, and then they will all flip. Oh. And then the other two will land.
Sometimes that happens though, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes something in the program or in the
Yeah.
flying.
It was most likely a battery or a connection issue, and that's what made the drone fall.
How long does it take to program something like that?
It depends on your experience. If you're starting off, it might take a few hours to maybe a day, but once you get the hang of how the coding works, you can do it in probably around 30 minutes to an hour.
All right, thanks, Brandon. I can see that Zach has got his all finished, so let's get ready and send this up into the air. It's a little more difficult to fly these smaller ones, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. They're a lot more sensitive than those ones, and we can't program them off of a computer. But yeah, these are definitely a lot more difficult.
All right, we'll send it off. And there it goes. Perfect. Thank you so much, guys, from Bonita Springs High School, bringing your drones here to STEMTASTIC. We appreciate the demonstration. Now let's take a look at one of the videos that's been submitted for this year.
Hi, boys and girls. I'm Mrs. Rice from Hancock Creek Elementary School, and today I'm going to teach you how to engineer your very own catapult out of popsicle sticks and other things that you find at your house. So this is what our end product is going to look like, and it just shot one of these poof balls that I have all the way on my top shelf. Okay, so the materials that we're going to be using today include a small sphere-shaped ball, 4 rubber bands, popsicle sticks, tongue depressors, one with a bottle cap glued on the end. These are just suggestions. Feel free to use any other materials too. Be creative. What you're going to need to get started is some popsicle sticks, and I have 6 here that I ended up putting together with some rubber bands on the ends. You're also going to want 2 more. So in some cases, you might want to use larger ones like tongue depressors. Let's see here, like these ones. Okay. And on this one, I actually hot glued a soda cap, or you could use a water bottle cap, or you could use a Gatorade cap. Okay. And you can probably use any kind of glue. I used hot glue because it's nice and it sticks. But if you have like Elmer's, I'm pretty sure that that would also work. You'll just have to test a few things to see. So in order to have this, again, I had 6 popsicle sticks and they were bound together with the rubber bands. And then I end up putting the tongue depressor in between the bottom one, like that. Okay. And then you're going to take the other one and we're going to need another rubber band. So I might have to play around with the position of where I put this. And I'm going to take this one, and towards the end, I'm going to take a thin rubber band. And again, all of these variables you could switch around. If you only have thick rubber bands, you can test it and see if it works. And then kind of investigate and check and see if there might be even better materials than what I'm using. Okay, and then I need 1 more rubber band. So I have my 2 large tongue depressors, one with the cap, and then I've got my popsicle sticks. I have my rubber band down here. I'm going to add a rubber band right here too, so it kind of springs a little bit. I could try it without. Nah, I want it there. Let's see. And I'm not going to wrap it too tight because I want to be able to have it where it can move. I think maybe 1 more. So I went around it 3 times. Okay, and so then now is the moment where I get to actually test out my catapult and see if it works. Let's cross our fingers. It looks a little low. I don't know. I might have to move some things around. Let's see. Worked pretty well. Okay, I want it to go even higher, so I might adjust a few things and see if there's anything I can do to change it. Ooh, look at that. That made it where it went up a little bit higher. What if I went closer to that? All right, let's see. Let's try this one. That one didn't go quite as high, but it went farther. So that's really cool. So I have my very own catapult that you could make at home if you have these materials. Otherwise, next time you have popsicles, just save the sticks and you can use them. And also you could test things in addition to, if you don't have like little pom-poms, maybe you might have something like a bouncy ball. So I could put that in and see if it makes a difference. So that was interesting. I also, in the lab, I just have a ping pong ball. So I could try that one. and any other materials, marbles. I don't know, you could wad up a piece of paper and test it in there. So just try different things. The other thing too is I've had students who wanted to use different things to actually make the catapult. Like for example, if you have any of these at home, they're like huge versions of the tongue depressor. You might have wood, you could have pencils, you might have styrofoam, cardboard. There's all kinds of things that you can use. So I would be super interested to see the engineered projects that you guys come up with for your catapults. Good luck. And see how far you can send it.
I love working for BNI. I love the culture. I love the way we're treated as employees. The benefits here are excellent, and it's a family.
This is my first job where I'm happy to come to work every day because I love the people that I work with.
No matter what you're going through, they'll always have your back.
BNI is the most people-centric company I've ever worked for. Everything is about what's important to the employees, the employee owners of the company.
Being employee-owned is great, so I want success for myself, which makes me do better for the business. The better the business does and my team does, the better that BNI is, and we're all going to share the rewards for it. Being employee-owned is we're all working for the same team.
We have multiple trades here at BNI, and most times we're on the same project at the same time. We try to operate as one team. So it's close coordination between our different trades that keep our work moving forward smoothly.
The reason I work at BNI is because I absolutely love the way we treat our employees when it comes to safety. The safety culture here, we try to take care of our employees. We want them to go home the same way they came to work.
They train us really good, so we don't get hurt on the job site, we don't get hurt out there on the field. They make sure that every employee in BNI has enough knowledge of what they're doing or the task they is performing.
One of the things that I really enjoy about BNI is that we're not just committed to ourselves, we're committed to our community. So a lot of the good that we do in the community helps these neighborhoods right around our headquarters, and to me that is a testament to our company.
I wanted to work for a place where I can grow a career. I didn't want just a job where I'm going to quit in a year, I'm not going to be happy, and this allowed me to do that. The sky's the limit. You can go anywhere you want within the company.
To move up in BNI, you just have to have a good work ethic, dedication, good attitude, be friendly, and doors are open.
We work a lot with TCAA and ABC, and we really get involved with the apprenticeship programs and give opportunities to our employees that they wouldn't be able to find at smaller companies.
I joined the apprenticeship program because not only are you learning on the job, but you get to learn everything that's in the book through the free apprenticeship program that they supply to you. I see my future here just being nothing but positive experiences.
BNI is positioned right now to have nothing but successful continued growth.
Within the past year, we've grown from 520 employees and we're up now at 670. It's endless as of right now. We're just growing right now.
Construction is an all-time high and it just keeps going. So where we're going to go, the sky's the limit.
Hi, I'm Rachel Shanker, a Manatee Master here at Manatee Lagoon, and today I'm going to be doing our daily observations. So here at Manatee Lagoon, twice a day, we come out here around 9 a.m. and around 1 p.m. and we like to count how many manatees we see, as well as what other sea life and a few other things that I'm going to show you guys in just a few seconds. So right here, I have my observation sheet. So you can see some of the information that we take down while we're out here counting are the time that we're out here, so either 9 a.m. or 1 p.m. most days, the number of manatees, of course, the number of calves, which are baby manatees, if any of those manatees have tags, and then we also like to count any other sea life. So even when there aren't manatees present here at Manatee Lagoon, we do have a lot of other marine life hanging out in our outflow as well as around our seawall all year long. So we also like to note if there is any trash or debris floating around in the water so that we can remove it if it is safe to do so. And then we'll take some environmental factors as well. So we'll note the water visibility. So you can see today the water visibility is pretty decent. We can see the bottom. It does look a little green, but we estimate it's about 10 feet since at maximum the depth in our outflow area is around 10 feet. Then we want to note some general weather characteristics. So it is a beautiful, sunny, warm, slightly breezy day today, so we've taken that down. And then of course we put our own initials so that we know who was doing these counts. So we are checking to see if there are any manatees. We don't see any manatees here in Zone A today. And I have a sheet here to help you guys kind of understand how we note our zones here at Manatee Lagoon. So our entire property has been broken down into 3 different zones. So Zone A is where we're standing right now. It kind of encompasses this general outflow area. Then as you move south along our property, we have Zone B, C, and D, and that's how we break down our manatee counts here at Manatee Lagoon. So we are in Zone A, and this is one of our favorite zones because right behind us here you can see the Riviera Beach Clean Energy Center. So that is the reason the manatees are coming here to Manatee Lagoon. So if you look behind me, you can see these 2 gray pipes, and the water around them looks a little bit turbid. That's because this Clean Energy Center is taking water in from the Lake Worth Lagoon, this body of water around us here, and they're using that water to cool down their machinery as they're generating that power. Now, as the water cools the machinery, that heat is transferred to the water and put out right at those 2 gray pipes. So the water today coming out of those pipes is about 86 degrees Fahrenheit. We got that information from the power plant. And the water coming out of there is going to be about 10 degrees warmer than whatever is coming in. So that means the water out in the lagoon today is about 76 degrees Fahrenheit. But the water temperature needs to be much lower, in the low 70s, closer to 68 degrees Fahrenheit in order to draw manatees in. So we don't see any manatees, but as I said before, there's lots of sea life around. So I'm going to go ahead and make some notes of some of the different fish we see. So we can see some tarpon, as well as some barracuda and some sheep's head. And if we look closely, we may be able to see a few other fish. So the visibility, since it's lower tide right now, is not as good as it could be. But I also see a large school of forage fish. Those are small, silvery schooling fish, sometimes known as bait fish to fishermen. But here at Manatee Lagoon, since we're an eco-discovery center, we like to call them forage fish. It's a more ecologically accurate term. And they are called that because they form the basis of a lot of different predatory food chains. So a lot of different animals will forage on these schools of fish. Thanks for joining us as we did our daily observation for Zone A. Tune in to see more on Zones B, C, and D.
Hi everyone, we're the news crew from Gulf Elementary School, and we're here to share some cool experiments with you today. I'm Justin.
I'm Brielle, and please be sure to always have an adult's permission before trying any science experiments.
Hi everyone, I'm Zoe. Whenever doing any type of experiment, you should always protect your eyes.
Hi, I'm Ashley, and I want to remind you to always stay safe when working on experiments.
And I'm Samantha. Let's get started with these exciting experiments.
We have a chicken coop at our school, and with spring right around the corner, we wanted to share some egg science with you.
Well, we know our eggs from the coop will be fresh, but what about the eggs you buy at the store?
Believe it or not, there's a very easy way to test eggs to find out if they're fresh or older.
All you need are a large glass filled 3/4 with water and 2 eggs. We have a fresh one and an older one to demonstrate for you today. To test the eggs, we will gently place 2 eggs into the glass and see if they float or sink. This one sinks.
If the egg sinks or stays at the bottom, it is still fresh.
This one slightly floats.
An older egg will either stand on its end or float.
The float test works because air builds up inside the egg as it ages, and this increases its buoyancy or ability to float. Our next experiment is for you to make a bouncy glow egg.
Sam, did you say a bouncy glow egg? Do you mean it can bounce instead of break and it glows?
That's what I heard her say, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to work.
This one is really cool.
The materials you need are a glass bowl or a jar, the inside of a highlighter, a raw egg, white vinegar, and some thyme.
The first step is to take apart a highlighter. Put the insides into a jar.
Then we will want to carefully put our egg into the jar. Sometimes it is helpful to use a spoon.
Then we will pour in white vinegar to cover the egg. Once that is done, the white vinegar may turn a little bit yellow. We will leave it overnight to soak. After the egg has sat overnight, rinse it off with water really well and gently drop it on the table to see if it bounces. This egg was prepared ahead of time. Here's the really cool part. Shut off the lights and see what happens when you shine a flashlight or a UV light on it. It glows. It bounces. You were right. That is an excellent activity to try.
We hope you have enjoyed our demonstrations today and that you will be able to try them yourself. With adult supervision, of course, and do not eat the highlighter egg. Have fun and thank you for joining us today.
And right now we're joined by Susie Hassett. She's one of the environmental resource teachers here at the district to talk about solar energy. Solar energy is a topic a lot of your children are learning about at this very moment in school, and she's going to help us learn some of those very same lessons about solar. Good morning, Susie. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. I am so glad to be here.
Let's talk about what the students are learning. Solar energy, it's very common in a lot of things that we might not be familiar with.
Right, so a lot of students are learning about energy in general right now, and one of the most common renewable energy sources is from the sun, because we have a lot of sun here in Florida. Electricity is the most transformable kind of energy, so if you can figure out a way to generate it that doesn't involve burning a fossil fuel, then that's going to be really beneficial for our future. So there are some ways to generate that electricity. Maybe by water power, so we know about hydroelectric dams, maybe about wind power. There are wind generators, especially in Texas. We know a little bit about those, and they had a little problem with the icy storms that they had. And then there's solar energy, and you may not realize all the places you've seen solar energy before. For instance, for a long time, you've had these calculators that you turn on and they don't require batteries because they have a little solar panel that charges them up.
It's very common.
And you may have solar in your garden on these little lights that you can get, at the dollar store. And when it's dark out, then the little LED light comes on because the solar energy is charging it up during the day and it's been stored into a little battery so that it's ready for nighttime. So you could do a little experiment with these and see how long the light lasts in the evening after the sun goes down. So we have some students who decided that they were going to use the power of the sun to experiment and then to apply to solve some problems. So we have a little bit of information for you about how this works.
We need to know the very basics, don't we? Let's get started with the basics of solar energy, how it works.
All right, so in a little solar panel, this type of solar is photovoltaic cells that collect electrons by making electrons go from a top layer to a bottom layer and then out through wires and back again. So there are two kinds of solar energy that you might be familiar with. If you look at a house, it's got the black pipes on the top. It might be solar thermal that's heating up your pool or your water at your house. But this type is solar electric. And so in this panel, the top layer is a positive layer. It's silicon with some phosphorus in it. And so that's going to have extra electrons. The bottom layer is going to be silicon. It's a very conductive material and it actually comes from sand. We got plenty of that. And to make it negative, they put a little boron in it. And so that makes the electrons want to go from the top layer to the bottom layer and then back around to the top layer again.
The trick is then to capture that.
You want to capture it. So the students were able to find out how to make the most electricity flow by connecting their solar panel to a multimeter. So this will measure the volts that are put out by the solar panel. The solar panel right now most likely doesn't have enough light. Even though we have these bright studio lights, it's just not the same.
It doesn't work the same way.
It doesn't. So I can connect it and I can turn it on and we can see if we have anything going. Hardly anything at all, no matter what angle.
And the angle matters.
The angle matters. So that's one of the things the students could experiment with. So the Florida Solar Energy Center provided the tools and the curriculum so that students could experiment with that and see how the angle changes the amount of electricity that's generated. So that was a lot of fun. And then we also have some district experiments, teachers, if you want to do this, where you can measure the same thing.
And students at Dunbar High School have taken this another step, haven't they?
They have. So there are 2 high schools that are really delving into this to apply what they've learned. So they found out that there are some factors that are going to affect it. There's the angle, there's the temperature, the time of day, the season. Those are all going to change how it works. And there's also a matter of not getting in shadows and shading it. So they both came up with different ways to build a solar cart so it's movable and you can put it in the most advantageous place for it to generate the most power. And then they figured out what they wanted to power. So
what have they decided to power up?
Well, over at Island Coast High School, as well as Oak-Hammock Middle School, Harns Marsh Middle, and Veterans Park, about 10 years ago, they put in solar arrays that would power the school. And then the extra electricity that was generated would be deducted from their energy bills. So that was helpful. But Island Coast took it a step farther, and they also use solar panels and a wind generator to run their hydroponic farms, which is really cool. They can produce a lot of food that way and keep their tilapia alive. So we've got a picture of the students working with some solar panels and a picture of their mobile solar trailer that has 4 solar panels and a wind generator, all helping to generate power to run 16 lines of hydroponics, so quite a lot.
That whole program, that whole garden is very impressive if you haven't been able to see it.
It is, and it's right out in the front of the school so you can drive by and take a look. So then the next thing the students did was say, hey, what's the smallest amount of energy we need to run a pump and a timer to keep some of these plants alive? So at Island Coast, they're working hard on some tables that you can sit at with the plants growing down the middle and the water recirculating, all run by 1 solar panel. And then Dunbar High School had another idea. They're building a cart with a solar panel, and to make the system so that it's usable all through the day and the night when there's no sun, you need a battery to store up the energy. You need an inverter so that you can plug into it. And in between those, in between the solar panel and the battery, you need a charge controller so it doesn't overcharge your battery.
Susie, there are a lot of people that make these lessons and projects possible, aren't there?
There are. So we are very fortunate to have received some grants from the Foundation for Lee County Schools. The solar kits were purchased by some of these schools as a part of their school grant. And so that has really made this possible because they are expensive. And the foundation also received a grant from Motorola this year for STEM innovations. And so one of the things that the students are trying to configure is this solar cart that can not only be used for the gardening, but also for emergencies. So that if we have a hurricane and the power is out, this solar cart is not hooked into the whole grid that goes out. It stands alone. So you can unplug your hydroponic farm and plug in your emergency battery for your lights and your radios so they can communicate at these schools that are hurricane shelters. Or you can have your light for the hurricane shelters. Because even when we have a hurricane, not long after, there's sunshine. And so they'll be able to have energy right away. So we are really grateful to the foundation for all the ways they connect us with the resources that we need.
Hi, my name is Andrea Miller. I'm the Education Coordinator for Lee County Mosquito Control and Hyacinth Control Districts, headquartered out here at the historic Buckingham Airfield. We are excited to share with you today all of the unique, one-of-a-kind service learning and internship opportunities we have to offer.
If you are interested in learning more about our service learning and internship opportunities, contact Andrea Miller at amiller@lcmcd.org or call 239-694-2174. And to find out more about Lee County Mosquito Control and Hyacinth Control Districts, visit our websites at www.lcmcd.com, www.mosquitoed.com, and www.lchcd.org. Also, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Today we're going to make history because it's going to snow in super sunny Southwest Florida.
Today at Ramsey Page Elementary, these 6 students will apply their knowledge on absorption and polymers to create snow.
Let's meet our rockin' 4th grade students here at Ramsey Page Elementary.
Hi, I'm Sora.
Hi, I'm Ziva. Hi, I'm Justin. Hi, I'm Ria. Hi, I'm Samantha. Hi, I'm Maria. Are you ready to see some super cool science? Yeah! Whoa, it's snowing! Whoa! I'm Kiara.
I'm Jamarco.
And thank you for joining us here at Ramsey Page Elementary. Bye!
Hi, I'm Charlotte Miller with Florida Power and Light External Affairs. We are proud to support Edison Festival of Light and Lee County Schools for the 2021 STEMTASTIC Day of Discovery. As part of our commitment to help make Florida an even better place to live, work, and raise a family, we invest in programming that helps further STEM education and enriches students' experiences. STEM students not only learn science, technology, engineering, and math skills, but also teamwork, collaboration, creativity, and other vital talents that enable them to thrive both now and in the future. STEM is at the heart of what we do each day at FPL, and we are constantly looking at new and innovative ways to improve our systems and infrastructure. It's part of our commitment to our customers to deliver America's best energy value, electricity that's among the cleanest, the most reliable, and most affordable in the country. Be sure to check out the link to our Manatee Lagoons Eco Discovery videos, and we hope you enjoyed this year's virtual STEMtastic experience.
Welcome back. Time now for another live demonstration for STEMtastic. We're going to step over to the table. We're going to meet Bella, Leo, and Miss Z. They're from Harns Marsh Middle School. They're going to be showing us the chemistry behind elephant toothpaste. Bella, Leo, Miss Z, thank you for being here today. Let's talk about what it is you're going to be doing, Bella.
We're going to do the elephant toothpaste reaction.
And why did we choose this, Leo? Why this experiment? The name itself is intriguing, but why?
Because you see it on YouTube a lot, but you never really understand the chemistry behind it. And now we're trying to get to chemistry and figure out what's going on.
And see, that chemistry is important. What is sort of the chemistry? This is all inclusive, you said.
Sure, yeah. The reaction itself encompasses a lot of aspects of science, not just chemistry. So it's thermodynamics, it's kinetics, it's a catalysis. Biology and chemistry alike could be involved. So this time we're using the iodide ion as a catalyst for reaction between peroxide and potassium iodide, and it's a decomposition reaction.
Yes, as much as anything, I should say, let's get started. Walk me through, talk it out loud, begin this experiment, and show us what happens.
Okay. So first we have to mix. This we have to put into here to 40, which is right there.
So first ingredient going in was at 40 milliliters?
Yeah, 40 milliliters.
Concentrated hydrogen peroxide.
Concentrated hydrogen peroxide.
The stuff under your sink is about 1%. Go ahead, babe. It's about 1% or 3% at most for cuts and bruises. This is 30% to 40%. So this will give you a boo-boo. So we have to be very careful with our gloves and safety equipment.
Rather than helping you, this could hurt you if you're exposed to it. All right, so that's step number 1. What's going to be step number 2?
So step number 2 is you get this, and then you're gonna mix it into here, and that's what's gonna create your product.
Everything I put in there, remember?
Yeah, there's gonna dish soap, potassium iodide, and once you put it in there, it's gonna create a dark color, which is the iodine, and then it's gonna blow up, or not blow up, but yeah, it's gonna create.
Yeah, you might want to step back a little.
You should step back. It's gonna foam. We're gonna get slimed like we're on Nickelodeon.
I made it green too. We added some food coloring.
All right, let's see what happens. I see it's smoking even too. Well, it's foaming, so it's steaming. All right, so what's happening here?
So what does it break down to, guys?
Hydrogen peroxide, water, and oxygen.
Right, so the water, basically temperature is a measure of molecular motion. So when a reaction is happening really fast and the molecules are moving really fast, that's what makes heat. That's what generates heat. And it's so hot when it's happening, moving so quickly that it actually boils off some of the water. Yeah, so it's not smoke, it's just steam.
All right, good. So we were safe the entire time.
You can touch it, it's warm, soapy.
I'll let you guys do that. You have the gloves, Bill. Why don't you get in there?
And then kind of a follow-up test to prove you got the products, pardon me. You can smolder a little stick, and if I didn't let it sit too long, it should reignite. So
it would go again.
It's still smoldering a little bit, but it didn't reignite. But yeah, we could do another one if you want another demo or anything else.
So what do you think is the main takeaway lesson from an experiment like this?
Guys?
Anybody? Main takeaway. What do you learn when you conduct this kind of experiment?
It's mostly when you're making it, it's all the stuff, the ingredients and the product. The product is after. When like you get to see what happens to it, like if you want to let it sit there, you can see what's gonna happen.
Like what's this? Cool. See the dark ring around it?
Yeah.
What's the dark part?
That is the iodine.
Iodine, right? Yeah. So it's also a good chance for them to get familiar with lab equipment, personal protection equipment. We weren't filming for it, but we made the solution. It was, you use a balance, you get the reactants you need, you mix it together. So you get to use a lot of different lab techniques just for one little fun foam bomb,
I can see why that would be fun.
Yeah.
Lots of kids would enjoy doing that. Just do it safely, right?
Definitely, definitely. And we have the reactions up there if you want to see the, actual. Or you can,
the equations itself, the ionic equations. So the chemistry behind the elephant's toothpaste. All right, well, we appreciate it very much. Very interesting. Everything worked the way it's supposed to. Thank you very much to Bella, Leo, and Ms. Z from Harns Marsh Middle School. Now let's check out another one of the video submissions from another one of our schools.
Hi, everyone. So today we're going to learn how to make a sun catcher using a solution that forms crystals. So your finished product is going to look like this, and you can hang it up on the window, and the sun will come through it. So the items that you're going to need are a clear plastic lid. This is from the grape containers at our school. So if you have one at lunch someday, you could take it home to try, or if you have takeout containers, sometimes these come from there. That would be awesome. We also have this type of lid that we're also going to use. You need to have Epsom salt, hot water, a measuring cup, a glass jar. You can have a stapler and a pipe cleaner. That's what we're going to use to be able to hang it on the window, to hang it here. And if you would like to add color, to have colored crystals, food coloring dye. Okay? So, and a spoon to stir. So first off, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to heat up some water. So I heated some water up through the coffee pot that I have. I just ran water through it, but you can also microwave water for 1 minute in the microwave, or run your tap till it gets hot and use the hot water from there. Up to you. So you're also going to need, it's a 1-to-1 ratio of Epsom salt and water. So we, right now, for this, we're going to use 1/4 of a cup. But it depends on how many sun catchers you would like to make. So it's up to you on how big or small your solution is going to be. So we're going to make a solution. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure out the Epsom salt. So I'm going to pour it in, and I'm going to pour it up to the 1/4 line. All right, so it's up to the 1/4 line. And then I'm going to pour it in to the cup. Okay, this is my solute. Now, the water is going to be my solvent, which means that the salt is going to dissolve into the water. So now I'm going to pour the water up to the 1/4 of a cup line. I'm going to hold it up at eye level and make sure that the water is in fact up to the mark, and it is. So now I'm going to pour it in. And I'm going to stir it. So you want to stir it until most of the salt is dissolved. You want it all the way dissolved into your water. And because we heated the water, that means that you can dissolve more salt into it. All right, so as I'm gonna wait and let it sit for a second. So now I'm gonna take my pipe cleaner and I'm gonna fold it here at the bottom. I'm gonna meet the ends to make a loop, and I'm just gonna twist the ends. And then I'm gonna take the cup and I'm just gonna staple it. So I'm gonna staple it here. Now I have it hung up, so then when it dries, you could hang it up on your window. Okay, so now the trick is you don't want to fill it all the way up. You want it so the water fills the bottom of it, but you don't want to fill it all the way up to the edge. Because I did that and it took a long time for it to evaporate, because what's going to happen is the water is going to evaporate and then you're going to be left with the crystals. So I'm going to pour enough so it's all filling the bottom but not all the way up. And if you do it, it's okay, it's just going to take longer to dry. And I'm doing it by the window, so I have the sun to help the water evaporate faster. If you put it out in the sun, it will definitely evaporate faster if you can put it outside. All right, and then you're going to, now that I have all 4 of these filled with my solution, I am now going to add in my food coloring dye. So this one I'm going to make yellow. So I'm going to just put, you only need a couple drops. So I'm only going to put 3 drops of the yellow. And then use my spoon and make sure that it's throughout the whole area. Alright. So now I'm just going to move that over here. And then this one is going to be green. So then for my art class, I know that if I mix yellow and And blue, I should get green. Okay. I'll move that one a little bit closer to the window. Very gently. Alright, this one leaked a little bit, so you might need paper towels. Then I'm going to do this one with purple. So if I remember from art, I remember that I need to do blue and red. To make purple. Okay. So I'll move this one closer to the window. And then this one I'm going to let dry without any color. Alright, and then you just gotta sit and wait. So for mine that turned out like this, it took 2 days, and for part of it I had it on the window and part of it I had outside to help it go a little bit faster. So it all just depends on how fast your water evaporates, and your crystals will grow. So have fun, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thank you all for tuning in to STEMTASTIC Day of Discovery. I want to once again thank all of our wonderful teachers, students, and business partners for creating these STEM education videos for the school district and community. Also, a very big thank you to the school district's communications team for producing this wonderful event. We hope to see you next year at STEMTASTIC, where we hope it will be in person. Keep on learning.